What is up, EOP sports fans? It's Wednesday night. It's 8:30. It's time for EOP. I'm Big Al.
And I'm Joey Sheeran.
And he is back in the saddle again.
Baby.
2 weeks, Joe. Too long.
Dude,
2 weeks too long.
I'll tell you what, man.
Got a lot of missed love here.
I'll tell you
what. It was
what.
nice to have Fred on.
Oh, I see that's the glimmer of, sunshine that we have out of all of us. I honestly forgot about last week. I a big apology for that. Yeah, I mean, just one of those things. I was away 2 weeks ago down the shore for my birthday week, and then last week we went to Pearl Jam, and I completely forgot that it was on a Wednesday night. So not only do I apologize to you, Al, and our network, and Fred, thank you, Fred, so much for covering my ass for the past 2 weeks, but I want to say sorry to the fans because we all know why you're really here.
Yeah,
we know why.
It's the looks. That's right, Joe's looks.
We know why.
So yeah, guys, thanks for joining us tonight. We have a lot to talk. I know the Phillies are on. It's very easy. Put them on the big screen, mute them, talk along with us. We'll talk about this game. We'll talk about the Eagles. Talk about what Mike Fuji's saying here right now. Yes, guys, 4 days to D.C.
Yeah,
we
buddy.
will see Fuji then. I have to check this paper. I don't know if Fuji's on the bus with us. It would be cool if he is, but if not, we'll be still partying with the Fuji from Broad Street South. We'll see him then. And don't forget, hey, Pat, what's going on? Yes, Pearl Jam was worth it. That's right.
Oh, yeah.
Was there.
Oh, yeah. Damn it. I meant to. Yeah, my bad. I meant to reach out to those guys.
What up, Spaz?
Damn it.
He's actually downstairs. You can say hi to him.
I know. I saw his car outside. I mean, if you want to come on up and join us, buddy,
yeah,
have at it.
More than welcome. But yes, we have a lot to talk about. Remember, this is brought to you by CharityInjuryLaw.com, PhillySportsTrips.com, and Dolan's Bar, the Most Delco Bar. We will get to them in a moment. But the big you got one team that was surging who's now deciding to drop off, and the other team who's just coming out on fire. Yeah. And to most people's surprise, the Eagles had played just another amazing game against Minnesota in South Philly. We will talk about that first.
Oh, we got to.
Eagles, I mean, 84%, man. 84% completion rate for Jalen Hurts.
Hurts is the truth. I don't care what anyone says. Come on. Get on the bandwagon.
Here's my thing is, I'm in line now. I'm in line.
I sure hope so.
Listen, one game is not going to be with the end-all be-alls. But remember I said to you, Joe, check boxes. I always have my check boxes they have to hit. He hit those check boxes this game.
Yeah.
I was talking about this earlier. I said, let's look at it. He spread the ball out. It wasn't an A.J. Brown 8 and everybody else kind of sat there and picked up the crumbs. 7 targets for Smith, 6 targets for Goddard, 8 targets for Brown. So that, to me, is a very spread out, balanced receiving core there.
Yeah, I believe they said it was 5 receivers with over 50 or 60 yards or whatever it is. And I'm just going to say, like, that was the best game I've ever seen him play.
I think that's the best NFL game he's had, which, it makes sense. He only now that, hasn't been 2 full years yet for him. So, that by far. And this is what really got me. This is where you go to, you see he has, he worked on the offseason, like he said. It wasn't just like a bunch of Ben Simmons taking foul shots,
right?
Or taking 3-pointers and get everybody excited. Like he has that winner mentality, which is something we haven't seen in a quarterback in a while here, except for maybe Nick Foles in a long time.
Sure,
he wants to win, and even after the game that he had, he could be sitting back there. Look at me! Look at me!
Oh, he posed up a little.
No,
bit.
but I'm saying at the press,
rightfully so.
In the press conference, we still have work to do.
Very humble.
He says I'm going to go right back to work. But no, I mean, Joe, he checked down. Okay,
yes.
He tucked the ball and ran, but he didn't. Normally, this is the normal Jalen Hurts. Look, not there. Take off.
I couldn't believe how many times they were giving him that edge.
They gave him that edge, and how he threw off his back foot.
Yes.
How he led receivers. This is the thing. Remember what I said, that QB intelligence.
Yeah.
He's got it, bro. Right now, I see it. He has it. One game, but it's very exciting for anybody. If you're a Jalen Hurts hater, okay? I was never a hater. I just wasn't sold, but I'm ready to buy. I'm ready to get on. Joe got the stock when it's cheap. You got it with penny stocks. Right now, I'm going to be a little bit more expensive, but I'm going to buy stock. Okay?
You gotta. I mean, how can you not at this point? And to bring up your point of just him and, perfecting his craft in the offseason and all that, like, who he was out there doing that with? A.J. Brown. Yeah. Before A.J. Brown was even an Eagle.
Yeah.
I mean, they are best friends. they're best friends on the field as well as off the field. He was getting
Can we
his
just become
chemistry
best
and his time.
friends?
Yeah, exactly. He was getting his timing down and his chemistry up, which with AJ Brown before he was even an Eagle. I mean,
Yeah.
how cool is that? I mean, and then you talk about the gameplay just from the other night. I mean, have you seen like you saw that the second rushing touchdown from him where he just bodied himself into the end zone?
Three guys.
Right, right.
Three guys.
But prior to that, you saw him get the first, and you're like, okay, he's going to step out. No, he slowed himself up. He looked around on the field, saw where the other holes were, and he stutter step, and then he ran straight right up the seam, and he saw his opportunity to get in the end zone, and he put a body on someone, and he got his arm across the what the hell is it? The hash mark, the paint. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
The line.
One freaking game out of 21 starts. Pump the brakes. Come on. All right. We know
No.
that. Matty, listen, I'm going to tell you the same thing I tell everybody. Enjoy the time. Enjoy the moment.
Right. Why
Just like
are we so against being happy?
we said the same thing about the Phillies. Everybody was waiting for the shoe to drop. Well, not that the shoe's dropping, but the laces are off.
It's scary.
The laces are off. Yeah, we're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into it. The laces are off though, bro. But no, I'm enjoying the moment. He is looking like what we want him to look like.
Yeah.
And that's like Matt said, it's one game. I'm not giving him that contract. I'm not gonna go give him this big
Me either.
franchise contract. But if it continues to play like this, and now we got to see they were been playing ahead of now. Now, what happens if they get behind, or it's a tighter game, or divisional rivals, as we will see this Sunday in DC. But it is exciting. It was an exciting game. It was a much more exciting game than anybody, I think, even the people who picked it. Oh, it's just going to be like we did back in 2017, 2018, whatever you want to say.
I'll be honest. I thought the Vikings were going to win that game. If I was on the show last
You would
Wednesday,
pick the
I would have
Vikings?
picked the Vikings.
I still had faith. Listen, and maybe it's more of my hatred for Kirk Cousins than it
Sure.
was
No,
my faith in
absolutely.
Jalen Hurts. But
It's hard to watch that Vikings team and what they did week one against Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. And the Packers supposedly have this much upgraded defense. So you saw what happened week one, and then you're thinking, okay, like maybe the other shoe's going to drop
Yeah.
on the Eagles. You know, maybe the defense will play like they did week one against the Lions.
maybe these power rankings of putting us
Right.
high up there
Right,
is not
absolutely.
playing
So
out.
yes, me and my wife, we were in the bar watching it, and she's all like, all right, let's go. I'm ready for that. I'm like, I'm a little worried. She's like, really, you are? And I was like, I am. I think this is going to be a really tough game.
Mhm.
And then you see them just march down 80 plus yards on their first drive, and it's like, okay,
Yeah.
we might be on to something here. And then my confidence, my faith in the team, not that it ever went away. It's just I just thought it was going to be a tough game, and I was
Listen,
wrong.
on paper, that was a very close matchup.
Yeah.
You have two premier wide receivers on either side. You had two good defensive clubs on either side. I mean, I hate Kirk Cousins, but he is a veteran who can win games, especially early on in the year. The Monday night factor definitely played a little bit into this, a little bit.
Yeah.
But here's what the Eagles defense did, and give the other guy who we criticize a lot, Jonathan Gannon, some props. He dialed up a few extra blitzes there. Jordan Davis, by the way, percentages did not change. It actually was less. He was 34% this week, with I think 22 snaps, something like that. I have to look it up. I have the numbers here somewhere. But
I see a lot of people complaining about like, where's Nakobe Dean? Where's Nakobe Dean?
21 snaps, 34%.
Okay.
I had it backwards. Sorry.
Like when you have TJ Edwards, who is playing out of his mind right now, and Kazir White, who's playing, really good football as well.
Kazir White.
You don't need Nakobe Dean on the field. Like, let him ease his way in. You don't need to force something that isn't needed. He's behind a very solid linebacking group right now. Let him get his feet wet here and there. Like you're not going to force him into the game if you don't need it.
Listen, the way that Monday after the Lions game feel like a loss. Just the way everybody was reacting.
Sure.
And listen, it didn't make me feel super confident.
Total overreaction.
Listen, nobody felt comfortable after that. It's not the way we wanted to see. But
right,
how many times we sit there? Week 1, 2, not even maybe 3. The way the NFL set up is pretty much preseason.
Dude, it's week 1, and people are saying Jonathan Gannon is on the hot seat already. Like, come on.
Aaron Rodgers looked like, a human. And they were like, "Whoa, what's going on with Green Bay?"
On his psychedelic set. There.
Yeah, he must have. But like I said, guys are still feeling themselves. Tampa Bay, even though they're 2-0, they're not a solid 2-0, which kind of leaves a lot of parity in this league. Which I can see why some people have especially national people have the Eagles high up on the playoffs, maybe Super Bowl, which let's pump the brakes on that just yet. But I
What
can,
I saw Monday night, those two games, Bills Eagles, that's who's going to be in the Super Bowl. That's already my prediction right now.
well, the Bills look good.
Ooh, Josh Allen's so good.
Yeah, that Josh Allen's so hot right now.
He's so hot.
But speaking of power rankings, guys, by the way, swing by
Yes.
eopsports.com. As you guys know, we have joined forces with the Painted Lines. And by the way, amazing. It's so much fun working with these guys. Great guys, very knowledgeable guys. Shane breaks down. He goes through the NFL 22, which I
Top
love.
notch.
Yeah,
Yep.
me, you have gone through it. Like he does a great job. Breaks it down. His NFL power rankings are spot on, even to the point that Seth Joyner was
I saw
applauding
that.
him.
Yeah.
But like he has his power rankings, and he has the Eagles as the top NFC team at 1 through 5 at number 4, with 3 other AFC teams in front of them.
It's hard not to.
Yeah, I mean, right now it's hard not to. It really is. Week 3 will start kind of 3 to 5. They'll start kind of changing this, and the guys like because right now I was doing some pickums earlier, and I said Monday night's Dallas Giants, and I can see the Giants winning this game, and they could be 3-0.
You know what?
We
I
could be
I
tied
said
first place if we both win our game. So
yeah.
it'll be interesting. But check out EOP Sports. Check out Shane's great article, and don't forget to follow the Painted Lines.
Yeah, I
Um,
said to Lex the other night. I said I can't believe we have to root for Dallas to win this game. We can't let the Giants get to 3-0.
well, at this point, I'm not super. Either way, I'm not worried about it. That those shoes will
Sure.
drop.
Yeah.
But my point is, it's despite what Matty B says, it is okay to be happy and live in this mode because look at what we have ahead of us. We got 3 games ahead of us. I'm not trying to look ahead, but you got Washington, you got Jags, and there's one more. I'm trying to off the top of my head. I forget. I think
I forget.
Arizona is Arizona at that point.
I'm not sure. I can take a look.
All right, but oh no, Dallas. I think Dallas is
Oh
3 and 5,
yeah.
right?
Week
Yeah,
week 5.
week
Yeah.
5 is Dallas. So
Oh, by the way, and Jerry Jones saying, "Oh, we're not putting back on the pup list or anything like that, the IR, whatever, because he could be back week 4." Bullshit. What happened was he got injured. Everyone started making the big deal that he's not going to be around for the first Eagles game, and he probably is out there like, "Oh, let's pump the brakes on that. Let's just tell everyone he's going to be available so they can't scheme against him." Blah blah blah. Dak Prescott is not playing week 5.
and that's my thing is if everything plays out well and they continue to play well, I'm not saying it would be crazy to say, but 5-0 could be a possibility, but 1 week at a time. So I'm
Fingers
not going to go
crossed.
there. But real quick, I want to remind you guys this is brought to you by our awesome sponsors let's start with Dolan's Bar, 24 East Sellers Avenue, right in Ridley Park. Great place, great time. Watch some sports, hang out with some friends, great food. You can still get some great eats there from Wolf Superior Sandwiches. And you never know, maybe a famous ex Eagles could be there, watch the game with them, whatever. You never
Sure.
know what's going to go on at Dolan's. Check out phillysportstrips.com. Here's their away games. Now, I said this is the gatehouse, but the gatehouse is every home game. Every home game at the gatehouse at the Navy Yard. So home, away, you want to take a bus trip like we are taking to Washington, you want to fly out to Arizona, there's an option for you, phillysportstrips.com. And don't forget, if you go out on one of these trips and get yourself in trouble, David Archerry is your man to call, 610-565-0300. Workers' comp, motor vehicle, personal injury, criminal law, cherryinjurylaw.com. Tell Dave we sent you. And like I said, we've joined forces with the Painted Lines to bring you Eagles Game Day Live, 3 live shows, pregame, halftime, postgame, you name it, we got it. On all our social media, it's on their social media as well as eopsports.com. And our first on remote show is coming up, and it will be for the return of Doug Peterson in the following week after the DC game. For the Jags coming to town, take on the Eagles, we'll be at South House 2535 South 13th Street, Philadelphia, PA. The pre and post game will be there. The halftime show will still be coming from you remotely from the Painted Lines, fellas. But we'll be having some fun with them as well going along. So back to the conversation. Um, we don't. Oh, here you go. You got one Cowboy fan. How do you know, Joe? You don't know. Anything can happen.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, well, I can grow.
Sure, Dave.
I can grow some wings and fly out. Pigs can fly my ass too.
Sure.
But hey, whatever. Hey, listen. Keep hoping. Keep hoping. All you Dallas fans out there, keep hoping.
Keep hope alive.
But listen. Time will tell. But we have one important game in front of us right now. We have to, and they have to play like that. Just like Jalen talked after the Minnesota game, they have to play like that. They have to worry about what's in front of them. He has to keep working on that and working the way he is. If he plays like he did it'd be interesting to find out how the rest of the season works out. But I said on the show, you weren't here, but I said, listen, I expect Justin Jefferson to get his,
Sure.
just like AJ Brown got his. But what the Detroit did right is they kept him out of the end zone. Well, Justin Jefferson didn't get his. Okay. Thielen,
Big play.
Thielen and Cook.
Play was on him.
Thielen and Cook might as well just bought tickets and sat in the stands.
Yeah.
I mean that's how bad it was.
Thielen really hasn't done much. I mean, again, it's only week 2.
Week 2,
but
you know.
he really hasn't done much either game.
Yeah, but and Cook has not been a huge factor.
Yeah.
As well.
Is that more on their O line though?
Or who's throwing to him, or altogether.
Well,
I mean, you got new coach,
Sure.
new team.
Sure.
Yeah,
maybe they're just not using him right.
and
Dalvin Cook's a good running back.
I mean, if this continues,
he's just not getting his.
I think Kirk Cousins is the one they start using as fodder for, if they go 5-0, they lose they lose 5 out of the 6 or 7 first 7 games. Yeah, there's gonna be some hell in Minnesota, but
Sure.
that sounds like a lot of Minnesota problem to me. I mean, ultimately they kept. So they're rushing. Guess who had the most rushing yards for the Minnesota Vikings?
I'm gonna say Jalen Reagor.
No, it was Kirk Cousins with 20.
Was it really?
Yes, and the tie for number 2 was between Cook and Reagor. They both had 17 yards, but Reagor only had 1 run. Cook had 6. So, like I said, he Cook was a non-factor, and
that's insane.
And I said
I was half joking.
Yeah,
and it's insane that I was off by 3 yards, really 4, to put him over that 20-yard mark. 17 yards. Wow.
Yeah, no, 17. And like I said if they can shut down Thielen and Cook and Jefferson get his, but keep him out of the end zone type deal, keep it to 3 points at most. That's how you would do it. But they shut them all down, and because Kirk Cousins, who's he going to throw to? I mean, there's a couple plays where that could have
well.
Yeah, there's a couple plays that could have shifted the score, especially at the end of the game.
Absolutely.
Like guys just dropped the ball, but hey,
that blocked field goal.
Yeah. The block Jordan Hicks, by the way, former Eagle.
That's right.
Took care of that. But once again, they could have put some points on, even 3 points on the board. They pressured Kirk Cousins, forced him into a bad throw. One of the 3 interceptions came out of that deal. So
you know what I couldn't believe is the almost second interception by Darius Slay.
Okay.
And then it's like, oh my God, it was in his hands and he dropped it. And it's the very next play, and they run the same thing. He gets his second interception. But how do you do that the second time in a row? How do you call that play as a coach?
So here's the thing:
God,
I have a theory behind this. Number one, Pat Bernard saying behind the scenes, Carson wants. I guess he saw that wrong. Wants to outduel Hurts. I hope so, Pat. I hope so, because Carson will do what Carson does. He'll try to outduel somebody, and he'll make silly mistakes, and the turnover game becomes ours. But my theory behind that is, I think by that point, number one, the Vikings checked out. They were done. If you were watching at the bar, so I don't know if you could hear everything they were saying. Right before that second play,
I'm at my bar at my house.
Oh, your bar. Okay. Right before that interception, they kind of panned to Slay, who was kind of gimping around a little bit, maybe a little cramp in his thigh or something. And they were sending somebody out to relieve him, and he said, "No." Like he knew he was going to get that. He knew where it was going. It was almost like they were tipping the play to them. He knew exactly where they were going, and he was in the right place to do it. I said, I think Slay had as many pass drops as the entire Vikings wide receiver corps did. Yeah. That's sad.
Yeah, Darius Slay was Kirk Cousins' number 1 receiver that night.
Yeah, number 1. And you know me, I hate Kirk Cousins, so
sure.
It was delicious to watch. Yeah.
Were you at the game?
I was not, unfortunately.
Okay.
I was supposed to go. Some things happened. I didn't able to go, but whatever. I'll be up this Sunday, and I'll probably be at. I won't be at the next one because I'll be covering at the South House, but I'm sure I'll be at the other ones following. So the Eagles are 2-0, first time since 2016.
Yeah.
Which is, I don't know, a good thing or a bad thing, but it's cool to say that they actually won that second game for the first time in a long time.
I mean, even in 2017, where they went on that magical run, like not even of course it ended with the Super Bowl, but just the way that season started with Carson.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they lost the second game that season as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, maybe just take it with a grain of salt that they're 2-0 right now.
Mhm.
But like to what you said about what Matty B said, like, yeah, enjoy it. Enjoy this right now. What we watched the other day was an offense that just is clicking on all cylinders. And finally, some solid coaching on both sides of the ball. And our additions to this team stepping up. Like Hassan Reddick definitely had a better game than week one.
Mhm.
And you saw Fletcher, like, shit, who was it? Was it Dallas Goddard who caught a pass and he went down like the Fletcher Cox and he gave like the finger guns?
Mhm.
Yeah, it was awesome. Like not only was like everybody on the offense contributed.
Yeah.
Gainwell
Well, that was
contributed more.
the other, like I said, that was the other
Boston Scott
plus.
got like our running game, top notch.
That was the other plus from Jalen Hurts. I'm going to give him. He was able to spread the wealth,
Yeah.
and everybody contributed. It was a lot different game from Devontae Smith than we saw from Week 1, where he had only
No.
one target,
One target, zero catches.
zero catches.
Yeah,
But
first play of the game was a catch by him. So
but
yeah,
he
they were
had
forcing the ball to him.
7, Goddard had 6, Brown had 8, Sanders had 3, and the rest of them had
Quez?
2. The rest of them had 2. Quez would have had 3 if it wasn't for that penalty.
Right. Yeah.
But even same thing. The rushing was as balanced as you expected to be,
What was it,
except
150 something in total?
163 total yards.
Okay.
Now that's including Hurts.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So 163. Hurts had
Yeah,
57.
50 something. Yeah.
Yeah. So 100,
Respectful.
100 plus yards
Yep.
for the running. 80 of it came from Miles, and 19 of it came from Boston. A couple from the one touch or the 2 touches from Gainwell.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's what I'm saying. It's balanced. It's what you want to see.
The only thing that we have to take away from that game that needs cleaning up is penalties.
Mm-hmm.
How many penalties? Everyone on our offensive line outside of Jason Kelsey got their own penalty, and it was for either being too far down the field or a false start.
So they did talk about this post game in a little bit yesterday, on Monday. I'm sorry, Monday night, Tuesday morning. They talked about it. Listen, this is the RPO. This is I'm not me defending my lineman. I know how I get when I talk about linemen, but they don't know what it is. So if you thought for instance, if you go back and watch the film on Sayamalu was down blocking.
Right.
That's high school football right there. There was nobody on top of him. He chipped his guy and down blocked. That's kind of what you're supposed to do. But he didn't know it was an RPO, so he didn't know if it was a run pass. The run became a pass, and he was. And they literally said they were looking for it before they were kind of getting away with it. They said, "We're telling you, we're putting you on alert that we're looking for it." Sirianni said they have a plan to take care of it, but they're just not going to say because you don't want to tip your hat.
But what's odd is even though it just seemed like this game, it was Jalen Hurts out there with a purpose to show that he could spread the ball around with his arm and not just take off, and he can make his reads. And it's odd that there were so many RPOs called, and that is the mindset of the O line when he threw for 333 yards. He was purposely staying back in the pocket, stepping up, making all his reads, and delivering the ball, slinging the goddamn ball, should I say, down the field. He looked spot on. Such a great night for him passing.
Yeah, great night. I think great night for him all around, from decision making.
But it looked like a purposeful game, and just showing off his talent in the pocket.
I think they said they only ran 1 or 2 keepers, runs. Bleeding Green Nation on YouTube is saying they need pass rush. Listen, I think the pass rush is coming, and I believe it's once again that's the RPO, what they're running with Hurts, which makes the pass rush a little off. So, I mean, and he's saying Zach Pascal. So I don't know. I guess he's saying
he had a play,
a little unsung hero. But what I take away from the Zach Pascal play is that was what we didn't see from him at all. This is the first time I can honestly say, maybe a little bit last week, but more this week, was watching him. He didn't tuck and just take off to the sidelines. He tucked. He moved guys. He used his eyes to get guys down. He had and with his legs. See, like Carson, because that's one thing Carson did well is he threw well on the run, threw well off his back foot, unless he was trying to force a play. We never seen that we really haven't seen that much from Hurts. So that was what was huge. Another play that kind of went unsung a little bit was it really wasn't a good play because it wasn't caught, but he went 11 straight completions.
Right.
The one that he first missed was not he technically it was Dallas Goddard
Right.
was did Dallas Goddard, but he dropped that right in
I
between two defenders, which people have complained that he can't do.
Well, first off, when you see it live action, you're like, "Holy shit, he should have caught that ball." When you see it in slow motion, you're like, "Oh wow, that was a 50-50 to either Goddard or whoever the DB was on him." Like we were lucky that that first incompletion wasn't a first interception.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you kind of with the give and take, like,
Yeah,
okay,
listen,
I'll take the incompletion.
that's what anything. It's like you complain like, oh, well, it's not a turn, it's not a interception for him, and the guy pushes the ball up in the air and the guy catches it. Um, Hurts probably will regress. Now, Bleeding Green Nation, and he's saying, "Thank you guys." Well, you're welcome. Uh, can I rephrase this comment for you and say Hurts probably will regress, or probably will regress? It could regress. I mean, we don't know that. I just don't understand like why people automatically assume like, yes, he's not going to have every game like this.
Sure.
No quarterback does. I mean, there's going to be ups and downs. It's how does he respond? How does he respond to having a good game like this? His words so far have been right. Now we got to see if his actions on Sunday in DC will follow. Yeah, yes, thank you. And hit that subscribe button, brother. I would love to keep talking to you more. We have a lot of shows here we would love to have you chime in on, which following our show will be the Fightings final with Matty B.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, just be hopeful he does it because, like I've said before, if he does pan out and we can make him a franchise quarterback, at this point, we're gonna go into next year with 2 first round picks, not worrying about a QB.
Yeah.
And that's huge.
Yeah, but
I say if that happens,
I don't
right
know. Like,
tackle, right tackle.
is it a regression if each game is different? Because I mean, they go into these games, they watch game tape from the week prior of their opponent, and they game plan, and they go into these games with a plan. I mean, yeah, Hertz's arm was highlighted this week. Last week, he was running, creating a little bit more on his own. And why can't it just be okay? One week he's going to be pass heavy. The next week, whoever the opponent is, however they draw up the game plan, that he's not a little bit more creative with his legs. Like, is it a regression if he's more creative with his legs opposed to throwing the ball as much?
Mhm.
Like what exactly defines regression here?
Well, if he can, like, here's my thing is, regression is he not just doesn't continue to do what he does, but goes back to his other bad habits. Um, and he's saying a balanced attack. Well, we saw a balanced attack. Let's see if he keep it. Now, sometimes the balance is kind of in the eye of the beholder. Like if a team takes away the run but forces you to pass and you're doing it well, keep doing it. And then if you have a 70-30 pass or vice versa, it really does depend on the matchup at the time and what you're playing against. But I mean, a balanced attack, yeah, like I said, we went through these numbers. You can't get much more balanced than this. Okay. Overall, you can't. I don't see where the where any more balance. I'm looking through the numbers
He put
here.
up 333 in the air, and they got 160, whatever it was, on the ground between everyone rushing.
Mhm.
Like that to me it's 500 yards of offense.
Yeah.
Like I understand. Again,
Well,
week
and
two,
here's the
I
thing is
get it. But
30.
but hold on, even week one, what we wanted to see was maturity on that field,
Yeah.
and I think we even got that week one because listen, he was getting rid of the ball when he needed to. He wasn't, trying to force, a play, up the sideline or whatever. Like he, to me, just feels like he has a better IQ on the field, and he's seeing it better.
Mhm. So here's your balanced attack. So there's 34 total rush. Now Hertz was involved in some of them, 11 to be exact. But there was 33, or I'm sorry, the 31 attempts at the pass. So you actually balanced a little higher with the rush, but it's still pretty balanced.
Yeah.
I mean,
Plus, you
it's
also have to rush to set up the pass.
yeah.
So
And with the RPO, and things could have started one way and ended another. Like,
yeah. And can I also say Steichen is 10-3 since he's taken over?
yeah, right.
I mean, what a difference
Mm.
in this team. Like
Well,
first 5 weeks of last
that
of last year
that
to
kind of
what we have
goes
now. It's a complete head
that
scratcher,
kind of goes
really.
against what what some of the things I said. I had my criticisms of Dougie P and
Yeah.
the nothing against him. Like I listen, you brought me in a world championship. I'm happy, bro. I'm not gonna get mad at you. But some of the things I had, like was he trying to do too much, and should he not handle it? And it,
I think so,
give
yeah.
Nick Sirianni credit where he could have just kept going with this. Hey, we made the playoffs. but they made the change. They got away from the forcing the pass. They
Mm.
started running. They took a bad listen. The Eagles were not a good team last year. They were a mediocre team, and they beat mediocre and worse teams.
Right.
They didn't beat any good teams. And when we got into the playoffs, we got exposed big
All
time.
right, but if we're saying that about last year, and we're also looking at the schedule, even prior to the beginning of the season, and we're saying like, all right, everyone was around 10 losses, but then if you have I'm sorry, 10 wins,
Okay.
but then if you have 10 wins, you have 7 losses. Or we're all looking at the schedule saying, well, I can't see 7 losses on this. So then you bump it up to 11 wins, 6 losses, 11-6. Now, are we saying that the strength of schedule has to go into the way that we have to look at this team right now? Like, oh well, we haven't played great teams, so yeah, it doesn't matter that we're 2-0. Is that like?
Now, I mean,
Am I wording it correctly
here's my
here?
thing. It's hard to say right now on paper. Minnesota is probably above is at least average or better, right?
After week one, like you have to say that they were the better
Yeah,
team
they
going
were.
into Monday night.
I mean, even our boy Shane Half has them in the 11 to 15 range. So
Wins, 15 wins.
no. Power ranking
Oh,
Minnesota even after week
oh,
two.
I got it.
Uh, after the second week.
I
Um,
think with the, I think on paper, like all of us, like we were saying, on paper,
mhm.
Minnesota made me look like the better team. Like going forward, Minnesota still on paper looks like a good team. When you have Justin Jefferson, Dalvin Cook, and Thielen, and a guy, a passer who can get it done, in Kirk Cousins, like that's a pretty good offense. They're going to win some games.
Listen, and strength of schedule say for is what it is, but you play who's in front of you.
Right.
Just like we talk about any sport, you play who's in front of you. I think I should join your podcast. Hey, thanks, Steve.
All right,
Thanks.
dude.
But my point is, you play who's in front of you. We don't know. You can sit there and tell me that the Jags are going to be a terrible team and they turn out to be a really good team, and we don't know that until the time happens. So as of right now,
Well, let me ask you this:
they played two at least decent teams because even the Lions right
the
now,
Lions were decent. Yeah,
you
yeah,
would have the Lions in the beginning of the season as a kind of a gimme. A lot of people have that as a gimme, and
yeah.
so far they're showing offensive power.
If you look at that box score of the Lions Commanders game, you would say like, okay, it was a competitive game. No, the Lions had that game in hand well before garbage time at the end of the game.
Yeah,
I mean, they put it to Washington. Like it wasn't that close of a game. Like, yeah, Carson got his stats in garbage time and everything like that, but that game was well over before the scoring actually started for Washington.
by the way, if they get a decent quarterback in Detroit, could be a.
Could be.
I mean, St. Brown, man,
St. Brown is good. He's really
he's
good.
they have a good
And I
running
don't like
back
I don't like
core.
USC receivers either.
Yeah,
But he's really
I mean,
good.
listen, it's still early, but maybe he gets figured out. We'll see what happens. But right now, and I know that who was it? Lamar Jackson came out and said if he doesn't sign, he
I don't
one of the
know how
teams
much I
would be
believe that.
Detroit Lions.
I don't know
I
how much
kind of
I
I'm like,
believe
really,
that.
bro? Like, I mean,
Well,
then again, Deshaun Watson went to the Browns, but I think it's because he got guaranteed money and they set him up so he wouldn't lose anything if he
do you
gets.
believe it? Do you believe that that's like that was a true
Why would he say
tweet?
that?
Well, he's
In,
saying it because he wants his contract.
no, well, it's insider, somebody of an insider leaking something. I think that is an agent
Yeah.
posturing. It's a posturing
Let
situation.
me ask you this. I'm not going to ask you that. This is what I'll ask
I'll
you.
ask you this.
I'll ask you this.
I'll ask you
Out of
this.
the next 3 games, Washington, Jags, Dallas.
Mhm.
If they lose one of them, which one is it?
Maybe this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. I want to take that back. Probably the Jags. If top
That's what I'm
top
thinking.
one is Jags, you got a guy who knows a lot of these teams.
Yeah.
Kind of knows. I think knows Nick Sirianni. There's a couple new factors here, but they really bought a new team. And Doug's not a bad coach at
No,
all.
not at all.
And he's already winning that team over and gave him a little hope. You saw it last week. They gave him a game ball for his first win in
He did, yeah.
Jacksonville.
And hell, Christian Kirk. I mean, we all laughed at
Yeah.
that contract, but He's showing up.
Yep.
Lawrence is getting him the ball. He's showing up.
Thank you for the fantasy points, Christian Kirk.
Yeah, he got me a win as well.
Yeah. But no, but my point is, yeah, I can see that happening because it's just I just think defensively we have a much better team. Um, and
Like, it's kind of wild for Doug that last week he's already playing against Carson, and then next week he's going to be back in Philly. For first 4 weeks he's going up against his former quarterback and his former city.
yeah, well, I mean, listen, they have a good quarterback, a growing quarterback down there in Jacksonville,
Yeah,
so it could be interesting. It's here. It could be if they win in DC, especially handedly. Could the team little smelly smell
possible.
themselves? I mean, Steve, do we think the Eagles will be 3-0? It's very possible. I mean, let's be honest. On paper, we're a better team. We are a better
Yeah,
team. So I have to say, yeah. I mean, I really think so. And
and Rivera's not a bad coach
Joe
either.
and I will be part of the 1,000 strong in the Philly Sports
We
Trips.
will be in FedEx Field.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're gonna try. I'm gonna bring some equipment with us. We're gonna try to go
Yeah.
live, join on some of the post game shows with Freddie and Dives and all those guys over the painted lines and whoever else from the EOP who's joining this week. We'll have a lineup later for you. But yeah, no, it's very plausible. I mean, Steve, it's very plausible this team could be 5-0.
Is it
Um,
possible Cooper Rush beats them in week 5?
if they're 4-0, I think it makes it more possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. There always has to be a drop.
People,
There's got to be a shoe that
that's
drops
tough.
somewhere,
That's gonna be tough though.
even for the Eagles. You know,
That's a pill I can't swallow at this point. I'll take I don't want to say I'll take a loss to
mhm.
the Commanders or the Jags. I can't. I
you
can't
would
accept.
rather you would
I can't
rather
accept a.
lose.
I can't accept a loss to Cooper Rush and Dallas
You would rather
Cowboys.
lose. And listen,
That's in. That's in Dallas, right?
a team going 3-0 is not an easy feat.
No.
It's really not an easy feat. Even if you're a really good team going up against really bad teams.
Sure.
So, could there be a little letdown in DC? Sure. And listen, even when DC's are they're bad and we're good, or vice versa, it's always a tight game.
Division
So
games are always tough.
yeah, so I'm not giving you DC saying, oh well, we're gonna go down there and I think it's gonna be maybe a 2-score, but like maybe 10
I
points at
mean,
most.
they better go out there and play with their
Listen, I think
heads
it's
on
gonna be the
fire.
turnover game that really wins it for us, and we all know Carson can do that. All right, so let's talk about that. We are talking a little bit, but real quick, guys, update. It is the bottom of the
Bottom of
seventh.
7.
Still a goose egg on either side. So they need a W tonight. This team needs a W more. Do you want to talk more Phillies and then get back into the Eagles Commanders? Or you want to keep going Eagles? Joe, I'll let you decide.
No, yeah, let's talk a little bit more Eagles.
Okay, so let's look at this matchup right now. Like you said on paper, Carson Wentz got his numbers 337 yards, 3 TDs, 1 INT. He has a 99.6 quarterback
Not a
rating.
bad day.
Not a bad day. He was the only quarterback with 300 plus yards, 3 TDs passes in the first 2 weeks of the NFL this year. Even considering a team like the Bills, who have just been hair on fire type game right
Unbelievable.
now. Yeah, they just look like a good team. I mean, it was a dual
Oh yeah.
walloping on Monday Night Football. I mean, they pulled him out of the game. It's funny because I was playing. I had a significant lead on the guy I was playing against, but I'm like watching that game go on, and he had Derrick Henry and he
Okay.
had Josh Allen and he had Thielen. So I'm watching like, oh man, these guys and watching Josh Allen play. I'm like, oh, here we
One of
go.
the leagues
I'm
I'm
going
in,
to sweat this now.
I had Hurts and Stephon Diggs playing.
2 men on base. Yes, very. Thank you, Steve. There was a little flub from the first baseman for the Jays, and right now we have no outs. Guys on first and
I need a
second.
bomb.
It's like the problem is and Matty B will probably touch on this a lot more during the Titans final. And the runners in scoring position situation has gotten drastically disgusting. Uh, Do you think the Phillies clinch a playoff spot? You know what? You asked me that a couple days ago. Could have been a different story, but right now it's they have this is
They
like
have
a gauntlet. This is a gauntlet they're going through right now.
still
Um,
2 games up over the Brewers in the wild card too,
yeah,
which
yeah.
is
Well,
shocking.
and the Brewers won against the Mets today. Might I add?
Did they?
Yeah, there was a 6-0, I believe.
Okay. I mean, I checked it when I was in the studio when I came in the studio, so I'm hoping that it's updated and they're still 2 up.
Too.
The Phillies on the Brewers.
Well, I guess we'll find out at the end of this game.
Yeah.
If they win tonight, I believe it's still 2. They'll be 2 up. But magic number is 12.
Is it really?
I believe so. Yeah.
I thought it was 16.
They're not. They're you know. I guess the fact that remember the magic number doesn't just fluctuate with us;
Right,
it
right.
fluctuates with the teams behind us.
Come
Um,
on, Schwartz, I need a pop.
yeah, this would be huge right now. I mean, like last night, it was funny because I was doing a different show right at like kind of like in the first couple innings. I have the game on. It's like 6-0. I'm just like, I guess we're gonna talk Phillies for a moment. Um, but it's like 6-0. I'm like, I'm not even leaving this on the screen. I don't want to even look at this. Make me
Yeah.
vomit. But then my notifications on my phone start popping up, and I see was it 7-5. I'm like, all right, they're making a comeback. All right, now it's 9-5, and then okay, like, it kept going back and forth. But it's like it like going back and watching the short film or whatever, like the fast replay of the whole
Sure.
game. I'm sitting there watching. I'm like, this looks like if I put funny music behind this, it looks like
Yeah.
a joke. Like it really.
18-11. 18-11
It
that
is
game
12.
ended
Thank
last
you,
night.
Matty B. Will Quinn said he thought it was 13, but maybe because of how the Brewers played today, maybe it made it 12. I don't know. Or whoever else lost behind them. But my point is, guys, I'm going to be purchasing my playoff tickets.
Oh yeah, I'm fully in.
Yeah, I mean, I have to but the thing I have to by
Yeah,
Monday,
we'll talk about that
by
after
Monday,
the
I
show.
believe.
By this Monday?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Um, Did they get okay? No, they advanced. Okay, I thought they got a double play for a second. All right, so one out. For guys on the corner, bottom of the seventh, and we'll see where this goes. But yeah, no, I mean, listen, man, this is baseball. These ups and downs, and Joe, I kind of was thinking about something today, and I'm gonna like. Do you liken this team over the last since this resurgence of the Phillies to kind of what last year's Eagles second half was? They were playing
A
well
little bit.
against better team or not such great
Well,
teams,
I mean,
and that's how they slinked into the playoffs.
I guess you can say that it's kind of comparable because last year what happened? The Eagles, changed the offense and gave full reign to Steichen. And this year with the Phillies, they said sayonara to Joe Girardi and handed the keys to the Porsche to Rob Thompson. And then that's where everything started to change. So I mean, it could just be the changing of the guard that's a fire builder under these guys. And it's been reported a majority of the season since Joe's been out that like these guys just kind of have a different feel playing for a different skip right now. Like
They seem
it,
loose. I mean, you saw
yeah,
that at the Eagles
exactly.
game. You saw
Yeah,
Hoskins. You saw Harper.
yeah.
You saw
Apparently, there's like 15 Phillies players at the
yeah,
game the other night.
Jalen Hurts or Jalen Hurts. Yeah,
Harper was sitting in Trout seats.
yeah. James Harden was there. Kelsey. Let me ask you a question about that real quick. Kelsey was
I'm
there.
glad that you were bringing this up because I would have forgotten.
So, guys, if you didn't notice, Kelsey's brother was there, Travis Kelsey, Kansas City Chiefs tight end.
Mhm.
If you're not really familiar, if not, read a book. My point is what was he wearing, Joe?
He was wearing an Eagles jersey.
It was a Kelsey jersey. It was an Eagles
Right, of
Kelsey
course.
jersey. If you saw Zach Ertz, whose brother played for, say, the Kansas City Chiefs, let's just kind of reverse the roles for a second. And Zach Ertz, played Thursday night, and he was out watching his brother play,
Yeah.
and you saw Zach Ertz wearing not Zach Ertz, I keep saying Zach Ertz, Dallas Scott, because he's currently
Right.
playing for
Yeah.
us,
Yeah.
and he's out there wearing a Kansas City Chiefs jersey, or even Jason Kelsey. If Jason Kelsey, maybe he gets a pass because he's Jason Kelsey, but
Right.
if Jason Kelsey's out wearing during the season wearing a Kansas City Chiefs jersey, are you a little perturbed?
A little bit, and I really went into thinking about this the other night because you know how like people are like, "Oh, that's a violation. That's a violation."
Yeah.
I've come to the point where violation stuff is stupid in this day and age.
Okay, it's fair enough.
It is. It's stupid this day and age because listen, that's his brother, and I will say this
By the way, they also have
because
their new podcast
I
together.
know it's pretty funny.
Yeah.
And I think back to when the Chiefs were in the Super Bowl and the Chiefs won. And at the end of the game, Travis Kelsey is up, with the broadcast team, and they're, talking, post game stuff. And Jason Kelsey comes up and joins them. He was not wearing a Chiefs jersey or anything by any means, but he was there for his brother, cheering for the Chiefs. Let's go Chiefs! Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And I'm like that's just This is the city of brotherly love.
Yeah,
If we can't
literally.
accept, if we can't accept Travis Kelce being at the link
Oh, I can
wearing
accept it.
right,
It actually
like
looked good on him. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
I absolutely agree.
Yeah,
I like a part of it is like, is it a violation? I'm like, no, violation stuff is stupid. Like it's his brother. I give him a lot of credit because he wasn't in some box. He wasn't, hey, look at
he was with
me.
the
He was
people.
with the fans. He was out there drinking beers with them. He was taking pictures with them. He was a stand-up.
I mean, he was in Sea Isle
He,
with with with
of course.
with Jason
Oh,
when they were
they're there
raising money.
every summer.
You
They're
know,
there
they like to
together.
party, like to hang out. They're just guys. They're
Yeah, That was Eagles
Joe.
autism awareness, and Travis Kelce is there for that.
Joe, it is no different than you and me, except for the money, the looks, and the athletic prowess. Other than that,
True.
it's the same
Spot
thing.
on.
Pretty much the same thing. Like, let's just put it
Right.
out there.
Right. No, yeah. I'm sure other people, maybe some Chiefs fans, might be a little butthurt over it, and I get that. As an Eagles fan, him being in our
Yeah,
home,
but I'm just asking.
I'm good with
In
it.
the reverse factor, if it was the same thing, we played Thursday night. He had a Monday night game. He's there, middle of the season.
I get the question. Me
Yeah.
personally, I would look the other way. I'd be like, okay, it's his brother. I'm not gonna.
I would say I don't like the looks of this, but it is what
Right.
it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm not gonna start pounding my fist in any way. So right now it's 2 outs, 2-2. Harper's up. If we need a little clutch from Harper right now, he
Yeah.
needs
We
to
do.
feel the clutch. Not just that we need him to do it. I would like to win this game, but also the
I'm so
fact,
glad
like,
you remembered to ask that.
yeah.
That's
But um, sorry, this game. I'm like,
you're good, dude.
I hate trying to watch the game and do the show at the same
Right.
time. But no, I mean, I think they make the playoffs. I still think they make the playoffs, but this is going to be a stretch right here for them.
The problem is I mean, this is only a 2-game series, so if they win the night, they would split it,
Mhm.
and then they had the Braves again.
Yes,
Los Bravos.
four
Yeah,
games.
4 games against the Braves.
Hmm, hmm.
I mean, what's the worst case scenario? Split? I mean, I know what the worst case scenario is, but what is the best
If
worst
you
case scenario?
came out
Split?
of this 6 games 3-3 or better, that's good for me. That keeps us in the hunt. If you come out less,
Well, they've already lost 3 to them. They lost
no, I'm talking
yesterday.
about these two plus the
Okay.
homestand.
Okay.
Of this homestand, ugh,
Wow.
yeah, no, not good. You can see it's in his head too. He's just not feeling himself. Um,
Yeah, this is getting scary.
yeah, but my point is 6 game homestand. If they can come out of 3 or better, I'm okay with that. Like that's how I look at it. Like a 500, I'm okay with that.
Sure.
Keeps us in the hunt. Doesn't move our needle up or down. Even if the Braves win or Brewers win too much, unless they just go on some 10-game hot streak. Um, they of course they're playing. I believe the Reds now. They're
Okay.
done with the Mets this series, and I believe the next game
Oh, wonderful.
is against the Reds, which doesn't bode well for us because the Reds are a but
Right.
divisional team, so we'll see how that plays out. Yeah, Steve. No, he doesn't look comfortable at all, and I don't know. I don't know if it's his injury, if he still has some
He
pain.
took that foul ball off his knee, right?
Yeah,
And they were saying like he couldn't put much weight on his back foot, in his swing.
you have to imagine, Steve, that part of it is what we feel. They feel kind of reverse in the sense that they know. And Harper, of all people, he listens to the radio, I'm sure.
Oh yeah.
He listens to the fans. He's maybe doesn't check Twitter as much, but he knows. He has a pulse of the city better than probably any athlete who came from another city to
Yeah.
here, especially a rival team. Um, he really does have a pulse of the city. So he's as disappointed in himself, if not more than we were in that situation. You
Yeah,
know,
I mean, unfortunately, it's just another season of him really being banged up. I mean, how many games did he miss? I mean, 2 months worth,
2
3
months.
months worth.
Yeah.
I mean, it just always seems like when we're finally able to get over that hurdle, September comes
You
and
know,
they're like, hold my beer.
and all those people out there, oh, the Mets fall apart in September. I'll have to pull it up here. Freddie sent us
Oh yeah,
the message this morning that showed. Let me pull this up here. Not to take too long. Here it is.
yeah. Not to change gears, but the fact that you brought up social media, like what I put up on the Facebook the other day, the AJ Brown stuff, where like after week 1, everyone kind of like praising him. He deleted his social medias because he does not want to be reminded
Showed Joe
of the
Burrows.
perform. Well, yeah, different reason. But yeah, he doesn't want to be reminded of his performance, good or bad, from the prior weekend. He wants to go in each week, clean slate, and be like, okay, this is what we got to do to go forward. And I commend them for it. I love it.
Yeah. So here you go. In the last 5 seasons, starting with 2018, they lost 9 in a row from September 20th to 28th. 2019, they lost 8 out of 9 from 19th to the 26th. From 2020, they lost 7 of the final 8 games. We remember that one.
Yeah.
They only had to win 1 game.
Yeah.
One of those games. 2021, they lost 6 of the final 7 games. And then currently they're on a 5-game losing streak. Could be 6,
The
depending on how
fact that
this
you're
plays out.
saying like they went on a 9-game losing streak, I mean, that's what this could end up being.
Very much so.
I mean,
If they lose tonight, like that's what makes that was
this
what
is
made
scary.
that's what Marlins last game. You know, you're like, all right, they took 2 or 3, they won the series. That one gonna burn you a little bit
Sure.
going into this. It's getting swept by the Marlins, losing the first to the Blue Jays here.
They got swept by the Cubbies,
I mean,
didn't they?
not called Marlins, Braves. They got swept by that happened right after
Was that a four
the
game right after the All-Star
All
break,
Star
right?
break,
Yeah.
and we're like, oh, here's the shoe. You know, they're back to where they
And then they went
were.
on another tear.
They went on a tear, yeah. Like, listen, you're going to drop ones, and they play the Cubs again
Yeah.
in Chicago, might I add. I mean, they have to really survive these next 6 games,
Yeah.
and come out keeping their heads, above water. If they can do that, then on paper, this team can survive. Um, let's see, Steve saying Phil's 0-7 with runners in scoring position with last 9 left on base. Yeah.
I don't even know where
Eh,
to like. I
I
read something
mean,
like that. I'm just speechless. Like, what
yeah.
am I supposed to
I
say
mean,
to
Matty
that?
B keeps I mean, the man, give the guy credit for it. He keeps a nice little spreadsheet of, and it's been this has haunted us for years, last few years. It's not just this year. It's actually a little better this year
Yeah.
compared to the last few years, of course. But yeah, clutch hitting, and especially over the last, like when they play teams, like we all said the Mets are kind of living a little rent free in their brain. The Braves kind of stuck it to us as well, plenty of
Oh
times.
my god, absolutely.
So yeah, I mean, Steve, thanks for turning the knife a little bit, but no, you make a point. Um,
Jerk.
yeah, nah, thanks, Steve. Keep following. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, brother. But it's
Sir Anthony doesn't look the same coming back from injury either.
well, I mean, he had the really good out, and then he
Yeah.
did that implode, like
Yeah,
that
the
implode.
clunker.
Like I really feel like that implosion set the tone for that whole Brave
Yeah.
series in Atlanta.
Like, there was a period where we were so high on our starting pitchers and our bullpen, and rightfully so. They were playing phenomenal, and now here we are in the past week and a half, and it just seems like they can't get anything done.
Pitching has been a problem. I mean, clutch hitting has been a problem too, but
Sure,
pitching has been the biggest problem. And starting pitching, they've been coming out. Gibson,
yeah,
I mean, they moved Syndergaard to the pen,
yeah.
and he came out a couple innings because I believe that Wheeler was only supposed to go 3, but he went at
He
least
went
4 or 5,
four scoreless. Yeah.
4 scoreless. So and then they came out. What did Syndergaard throw 2?
I don't know. I just remember looking at the screen in front of me, seeing him on the mound. I don't know how much he threw though.
I mean,
Are you shitting me?
oh my god. This is the stuff that's going to kill us.
Wow,
They are in their own way right now. There's a lot in their own head, and
this game's over.
I don't know what to say. It's all over, but it's not
No outs,
not pretty.
corners.
Phillies. Let's see. No, 2. He went 2. So 4 from Wheeler, 2 from Syndergaard. And Jose had another good. He's actually one of our better bullpens.
Yeah, look at this.
Because even
He fell.
He fell, and they
He
still didn't get
fell.
him. Jesus, like both teams are trying.
That was an awful throw by
Well,
Stott.
Stott, he is still in his head from like he made some bloopers last night.
Yeah.
And there's another one for him. Like they need they need to go out and get in another bar fight. That's always my like 'cause that happens in all
Just
the
fighting
movies.
each other in the locker room.
No, like it's all the movies. Like when
The
teams are struggling,
replacements, yeah.
yeah, they go out and have a bar fight, like or they fight like some locals to start making fun of them or
Yeah.
whatever. That's what they need.
And they're in the jail cell, and the next scene, they're all spitting blood from their mouth and high five and like, all right, solidarity, brother.
Yeah, then they go out and they go to
And
the
they go
playoffs.
out there and they win the replacement World Series, Super Bowl.
Yeah, but no, I mean, this is and now we're putting Dominguez in a position to where he has to strike somebody out because even a double play scores.
Yeah.
If you want to keep this, you got to get one guy out without advancing the runners.
Oh my god.
All right, let's flip back and talk a little Eagles
Sure.
again because we have.
Because
Oh,
we're depressing ourselves.
yeah, right. We have a little less.
Oh my god.
Jesus. Well, there's that.
This one's over.
So I guess so much for striking somebody out. Yeah, good plan, Al. Good plan. Yeah, Steve. Oh, damn. And yes, that error on Scott was big because that now makes it a 3-run game instead of a 2-run game. I guess we'll see if they can rally back.
Let's go back to the Eagles.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Let's touch on the Flyers real quick because there is
Wow.
some
Are
news.
we? Are we?
There is some news,
Uh,
and no, I'm not talking
I'm a little
about.
excited, by the way.
I'm not talking about Couturier. I'm talking about Taryn Hatcher leaving us. Taryn Hatcher's leaving us.
Wait, what? I don't
They're
think I heard that.
expanding her role at NBC
I know she
Sports,
was doing
and
the.
she's not doing the pre and the post game anymore. She can't say any details. I'm only.
Well, I know she
I only
does.
know what the hell she said
I
on the
know
thing.
she does the Eagles. What do they call
The
that?
inside the huddle.
Inside the huddle, right? With,
Her and Amy Fadul go back and forth.
yeah.
But yeah,
So
we're
she's
losing
not
Taryn
doing
Hatcher.
Flyers at all,
No,
but she's still working for NBC, right?
right.
So we're not losing
All it
her.
said, yeah, she like posted something. I saw a post of her post, and it said like, "Oh, I can't go into detail, but with that says I'm not going to be continue doing Flyers pre and post game, blah blah blah. You'll find out more, once she's allowed to say something."
Listen, as bad as
But she's gone, and I'm
this
not.
team most likely will
That's not.
be,
I mean, like what are we supposed to do? Like the Flyers suck, and seeing her before and after. I mean, they gave you something to
oh,
look forward to, right?
I'm not being a creeper, but it pops up on my feed, so I have to throw this out there. And if you haven't seen it yet, please go look at it. She
It's
must have been
upsetting.
away with some friends on a getaway. Her and like I don't know, a handful of friends, and she posted on her Twitter and Instagram. And I listen. I wasn't looking for it. I was just uploading some TikToks and stuff.
Right.
It was just a happy find. Okay.
Right.
But damn, that's all I have to say is, god damn. I was like, and all of them. It's not just her. I'm like, these little pretty people just hang out with themselves. Like,
Dude, that's exactly what it is.
yeah. I'm like, oh my god. Like they're all like not just pretty, but like they're in their bathing suits and all. They're like washboard abs. I'm like looking down at myself, going, "What do you guys think about a dad bod?" Like,
I saw Jillian Mealy was in media the other day, and I'm like, I live 2 towns over. Nobody can tell me about this. Like,
no, she's like, make sure you guys don't tell Joe. Don't tell Joe. No, but I mean, in the Flyers news, I mean, it's not pretty.
yeah, no, I know it's serious.
Sean
Couturier, he's out
it could be out
for
for
months,
could be longer. He's having
possible season.
spine
Ryan
surgery.
Ellis still out, no timeline.
I mean, if he plays
Holy
again for the Flyers,
crap.
that'd be almost surprising.
This is a legit question.
Mhm.
How many total games did he win or play? 2, 3?
Yeah, he had that when they had that 10 game.
It was less than a handful.
When
right?
they had that 10-game span at the beginning of the season last year. They did well.
I'm not positive if he played more than one game. I swear to God. There's got to be somebody out there who knows this.
Off the top of my head, now, but I'm sure Google can tell me.
Yeah.
Um,
how many games did Ryan Ellis play for the?
How much puck ice time has
he
Ryan
played
Ellis?
17 minutes and 33 seconds
Yeah,
of
right.
game.
But and the other thing is Torts kind of saying, there's an issue in the locker room, some sort of
Probably him.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised, but maybe it's him trying to ruffle some feathers
Absolutely, yeah.
that are causing.
He's a hard-nosed, old-school coach.
Yeah, but yeah, this just doesn't look pretty for our Flyers. And I love hockey. I just love hockey.
Yeah.
But we will be covering every hockey game with Clear the Ice
course we will.
finals. So between
I definitely
us,
want to, even with how bad they are, I do want to attend some games this year.
oh yeah, I mean, I'm working on our press passes.
Yeah.
I would like to cover them again in the Wells Fargo.
Sure.
But yeah, not much Flyers. Oh, here you go, Matty B. I knew he would know. I was waiting for him to chime in.
4 total games. Wow.
Yeah, 4. That's 4 more than it's 3 more than I expected.
It really is 3 more than I actually thought.
I think there's a rule that only one team in the city can be good at a time. Sixers were good and Phillies sucked early. Sixers faded, the Phillies got hot. Right now, it's the Eagles are being good and the Phillies have to suck. Yeah, we just can't have nice things, Joe. Let's just throw that out there, Joe Scores. We can't have nice things.
And when we have those nice things, apparently we just want to beat them down, and we can't be happy about it.
Yeah, like we want to like call them jerks.
Yeah.
So yeah, so let's look at this matchup, Joe. Like I said, me and you will be in attendance.
We will.
Getting on that bus early from Jetro, heading down with PhillySportsTrips.com.
I will say this: I never thought in my lifetime I'd be at the door at 5 a.m. to go to an Eagles game.
But I mean, what's nice is you get a 3 hour nap on the truck,
Right,
so you
right.
can rejuvenate yourself or
If
drink
by
beers.
I was gonna say if by shotgunning beers you mean sleep, then okay.
Well, I mean, you could drink yourself into a stupor for an hour and a half. I mean, so there's always that option.
Nah, I'm gonna be good this Sunday.
Um, but I mean, I'm excited. It's going to be ruckus. It's definitely going to be Link South.
It's
Um,
it's it might be a little overwhelming to be honest with you. Like because we have 1,200 Eagles fans with us just from our group.
just our group, our
Just
one
from
group.
our group. And there's how I'm not going to give anyone else at any of these other groups free press, but we know all the other ones that are out there that hundreds more fans are
Yeah,
coming with. We have 1,200. We have 20 buses. 20 buses, 1,200 people.
we
We have our own private parking lot
we
for
have
our tailgate.
we have 100 times the amount of people who attended their preseason games.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, seriously, I'm not making that number up.
These buses, like, we're going to get down
It's your
to
first time?
at FedEx Field?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
Yeah. We're gonna get down there. Like number one, when we pull
It's
into
a
to our
pit hole, by the way.
oh, I know. I know all the horror stories and
Mhm.
everything. I mean, hell,
Your
if you see a railing, don't
cheeseburger,
lean against it because you'll probably fall
your
over.
cheeseburgers may
And then you
crawl
may end
away
up
if you grab something at the snack
yeah.
stand.
Although if you go over a railing, you may become
Because Dan
a
Snyder
millionaire. But
doesn't lose a dollar on it. I don't care if they're turning green, just cook them longer.
yeah, dude, it's gonna be awesome. There's gonna be
Ugh.
Cabs catering. I can't even imagine how much food there's
Guys,
gonna be there.
guys, just to tell you,
Hollis Thomas.
just to tell you,
Awesome companies outside of EOP teaming up with Philly Sports Trips.
dude,
It's gonna be
it's
it's
gonna.
gonna
I'm
phenomenal.
excited. I took off tomorrow or Friday
Nice,
and Monday.
nice.
I'm preparing. Plus, it's my dad's birthday, and I had to
I
enjoy.
did
I had
think
to
of
give some
taking off
time.
Monday.
No, I took off Monday.
Yeah.
And my it's actually perfect with my other job. My boss said I'm off on the 26th, and I'm like, well, good because I was too because I was going to be a no. Because like here's the thing is even like I guess we expect to be back around 8 9 o'clock at night, right?
Sure.
Yeah, about right. I mean, it depends on I don't know. Do we?
Depends on traffic getting out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Oh, it's awful getting out of there.
oh
I'm
god,
expecting at least 4
it's
hours to get out.
almost as bad as the Meadowlands. I'll use the term almost. Be sure to stay away from railings. Thanks, Joe. Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at me. I mean, a normal railing wouldn't survive with me. Could you imagine a bunch of me's? Thank God, no. Just make sure if you fall on something, it can be Carson.
I will
Uh,
say this:
mhm,
my wife is going,
yeah.
as well as your wife is going.
Mhm,
So I know I'm gonna be in check a little bit.
yeah.
Compared to our other Philly sports trips we did to New York, like that was off the rails for
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
I'm almost like praising the fact that she's coming to this because
Joe
I
did
mean, look,
sleep a lot on the bus in that one, but at the wrong time.
yeah. Yeah, so I'm very happy that my wife is going with us, and it's going to be a really great
My
time.
wife's extraordinary. That's all she's been talking about.
Yeah,
All she's been talking about. Extraordinarily excited, which and anybody should be. Like you said, 1,200 fans
1,200. Like when we were originally talking to Vince about all this, and he was telling me he was like, my vision is to have 1,000 Eagles
at
fans
this
come down
tailgate. Yeah.
with us, and like in my mind, I'm like, dude, that's awesome. In my
Mhm.
mind, I'm going, not a shot.
Yeah.
And then it's
I'm like,
like,
you reach.
holy
It's like, all right,
shit!
reach for 1,000. You hit 600. Be happy with yourself.
Exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
750.
No, this man had a vision. This man had a dream. He went out there and he
Hallelujah.
succeeded. Holy crap, Vince, dude, awesome.
Yeah.
Like, this is gonna
And
be
like I said, with
this
Cabs
is gonna be
catering,
awesome.
guys, like it's not. It's cheeseburgers and hot dogs. I'm sure he'll have that. It's filet mignon
Filet mignon,
sandwiches.
yeah,
I'm literally be eating at 10 a.m. filet mignon sandwiches, sausage and
yeah.
peppers, mussels, like real food, real good. I mean, Cabs Catering's top notch. Done some big weddings in the area. Like I've had their food, and outside of just the tailgate, top goddamn notch.
Dude, 15 bartenders
Yeah,
are gonna be at our private
which still
tailgate.
seems like a little bit.
Bye, Spaz.
See, Spaz, you're not gonna join us?
Drain this swamp, baby.
Drain this one. Don't
Love
worry.
it.
We'll maybe fill this one with a little urine in it from other than that. But no, it's going to be a great time. And let's break this game down. Like I said, Carson will get his numbers sometime.
I don't know.
Here's my thing: is I think it will be in his head more than the other way around. We're us fans want to boo him. I don't think listen. I think Jason Kelsey and Zach Ertz and them, they were friends. I think they
Yeah.
were very friendly. And they didn't want Carson to leave, and they saw that they're good from Carson. And
Yeah, he said he was texting
listen,
them the other
Carson was
day.
is a very religious and a very uh, giving back, but he does have an ego. But and I think they see what they got with Jalen Hurts and Sirianni, and I think Kelsey bought into it. And as long as Kelsey buys into it, I think the rest of the team buys into
Yeah,
it.
he's a captain. There's no
So
doubt. He's a leader in the locker room.
so I think this defensive line can eat if they want to. They
Yeah.
can eat if they want to. I think if I'm Riverboat Ron, if I'm trying to take what I have and beat the Eagles with it.
Mhm.
Right now, the difference they have in their wide receivers is they got a bunch of track stars. Which don't get me wrong, Terry McLaurin's pretty good.
Right.
What we've seen from Jahan Dotson, he had 59 yards and a
We got some
touchdown.
speedsters on our team, though.
Yeah. But here's the thing: is there's three guys on the Eagles defense during the Minnesota game who played 100% of the defensive snaps. Do you know who it is, Joe?
I'm gonna say T.J. Edwards.
Nope.
No.
He
Okay.
was close
Oh,
at
well,
92%.
I'm gonna say Mayberry.
Bradbury.
James Bradbury.
Yes, Bradbury. Or Blue. Oh, wait,
Oh,
wait. Did you hear
well, he
that?
said Blackberry.
Blackberry.
Yeah, well, at least I didn't call him Blueberry.
Yeah, that is funny.
Great recovery
I
by
love him.
Merrill. But yeah, James Bradbury. I'm gonna say 100%.
100%. And he just joined the team, what, 3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 weeks ago.
And I want to say Slay, but I'm not positive.
Slay is not. He was out, believe it or not, 80%.
What about Kaiser White?
No, Kaiser White was right below him at 74%.
Well, how about you just tell me that now?
All right.
Don't keep whiffing.
Chauncey Gardner-Johnson.
Wow.
Another one. That's why I'm saying these two of the three guys just joined the team in the last month or less. And the other one is Epps.
Okay.
Marcus Epps, yeah.
You know what's funny is I was actually going to ask if Chauncey and Avante were on the field together because Maddox was out there
100% of the time.
Well, yeah, okay. So what was Maddox playing safety? I guess
Maddox is slot.
Well, what the hell was Gardner playing?
Gardner kind of played more of what we saw from what's his face? I was just here from the Saints. Malcolm Jenkins. Yeah, he kind of played more like he was up on the line.
Free safety.
Yeah, kind of free safety position. So,
I'm sorry, strong safety.
Strong safety. Yeah, that's my bad.
Yeah.
Maddox played 82% of the snaps.
Wow.
Yeah.
He was making plays out there too.
He was, dude. They were all feasting.
Defense
Everybody was getting theirs. They were all very happy. They were all eating. They are. Oh God.
Oh my God.
Are you kidding me?
Apparently, you and me looked at it at the exact same time.
I look corner of my eye. I'm looking over. I see the 3 yellow base paths split up.
Same time.
Still one out. And who's in there? Brogdon or is that Nelson?
Nelson.
That's Nelson. Let's see what Ian's saying here. Ian's saying Dotson and Scary Terry give Carson 2 deep ball threats. That's first time in his career. Yeah, that's where they can do it. This is where the pressure up front's going to come. I think you're going to see that percentage from Jordan Davis jump up.
Oh yeah.
I think you're going to see him get in his face, and I think I will call one right now, and I don't know who it's going to be, but you're going to have either Gardner Johnson jump up, or somebody's going to lay him on his ass. He's going to get gored.
I can't believe it. I think it's going to be Fletcher Cox. I think Cox is going to get in there.
He's our leading sacker at 1.5 sacks right now.
He is.
I think our defensive line, the way they played against Minnesota, if they could play just as good, if not better, because the O line for the Washington Commanders is not as good.
And I'm not going to take anything away from McLaurin or Dotson. Dotson, Penn Stater, I wanted him. I'm not going to take anything away from these guys. However, when you have a duo of James Bradbury and Slay, I guess, are we just calling him Slay again? Darius Slay, big play.
He only lets me call it Slay.
Yeah. When you have a tag team of those two, I don't give a shit who the 2 wide receivers are on the outside. You're not going to get much going.
Hold on. I'm going to play something for you because this was actually something I heard earlier, which is kind of funny, and it's typical Slay.
I mean, I ain't gonna say it like that, but because I'm always eager to go. I'm always ready to go at all time. I don't take no matchup lightly, but he is one of the best in the world. And shoot, I'm one of the best in the world too. So
Absolutely.
I did
He's
hear
one
that,
of the best
yeah.
in the world, but so am I.
Right, right.
You gotta love it. You got two guys with a lot of swag.
Yeah, and
Him
after
and Bradbury, man,
oh my god,
and Chauncey likes to run his mouth more than
I
anybody.
know.
It's funny.
Dude,
It's funny.
even after week 1, the Lions game, I read something where Lions fans are still cursing out Matt Patricia because of the Darius Slay trade from the season prior.
Mhm.
They're like, because they're still watching him be a shutdown. And then they see what happened against the Lions. They watch what happened Monday night, and they're like, we had this guy. We had this guy, and our boneheaded old fucking coach just let him go. Right
Mhm.
through his fingers for what, a third?
Yep.
I mean, wow. Yeah, Haley does it again. Fleeces a team.
So
Shocker.
yeah, no, listen, I think it's gonna be a very interesting show. Let's do this. We're kind of running out of time here. A little over time, but who gives a crap? We
Yeah.
make our own time.
We make the rules
We
here.
make the rules here. So let's put it this way. Give me your early prediction. You can change this one, but give me your early prediction.
Early prediction.
Pain.
Anyway, there's no way I'm not taking the Eagles this week, and I'm not just saying it because we're going to be there. I don't know how I can go any other way after seeing that performance
Give
last
me a
week.
score. 'Cause I'm agreeing with you. I believe this is the Eagles win.
It's going to be a divisional game. It's going to be close.
I think it'll be closer than it probably should be because of the divisional
It won't-
factor, and
yeah.
they're the home team.
What was the score week 1?
Our final score?
Yeah.
Our final score was 38-35.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not going to be that close.
No.
And it's not going to be as large of a margin as this past Monday. I'm going to say it's a touchdown win. I'm going to say, shit. I want to say 31-24, but I don't see how our defense is going to give up 24 points to them. So I'm going to say 24-17.
Okay. That's pretty close. I actually have it 27-17.
Okay.
That was my prediction. I believe it's a 2-score game. Probably could be more if it was home. We weren't coming off a technically shortened week.
Yeah. I didn't even think of that.
Ian saying, but our offense can't sleep in the second half like they did last week. They took away the big plays. That's what they did. They took the big plays out. He wasn't going to throw a 50-yard bomb down the field to
No.
Quez. They took away the big plays so they couldn't get hurt if there's a turnover or something. But that's not something you could see. Ian saying 35-24. Oh yeah, that's what am I thinking? I'm thinking that was my score prediction for the Vikings game. I said 32-21 Eagles.
Okay.
I was actually having a little bit more because I think giving 21 was a lot.
Yeah.
And that's where I have it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I
yeah.
couldn't go 24,
Mhm.
and I don't see them scoring into the 20s, so 17 it is.
Yeah, I just think maybe it's a garbage time
How about this?
time score.
Total sacks on Carson.
Carson gets himself sacked a lot.
Yeah, that's a very, very fair point.
So Carson does bring a little bit on his own. So I think it's going to be a little higher than the average. He kind of holds on the ball too long at times, and I said if he just learned from that, this Washington team I thought was going to give us more grief than maybe the Cowboys would this year, or both.
Carson didn't work out here, but there's no way I'm saying that he's a.
I'm going 2.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go 2. One we take, especially when we kind of demoralize him later in the game, and one Carson kind of brings on his own. So there's your 2.
I thought I was going to be low when the way you were like kind of hyping up your answer.
Yeah.
I'm going 3. I'm going 3 total sacks.
Okay.
Not going to predict who's going to get. Actually, I'll predict Fletcher gets one. I think Hassan Reddick will have a better game. I think he'll get one. And you know what?
Somebody's going to come off the corner.
That's exactly what my third one was going to be.
Yeah, I don't know who it is.
What my third one was going to be.
I'm going to give it to Slay. I think they move Slay up there, let him go. They will overstack the line at one point.
Garner Johnson went, or was it Maddox? Who went?
It was Maddox who laid
Maddox
laid him out. Mm-hmm.
I'm going with Max with it.
Okay, maybe it's him. I mean, they're going to just do kind of what Detroit we saw. Maybe they had the defensive end, and then they had the guy in the slot there. They were like pretty much locking ankles.
Yeah,
and they just overwhelmed them, and that's what I think they're going to try to do. Is at times, I think you're going to see another few blitzes dialed up. I don't think you're going to see many more than we saw in Minnesota, if maybe 1 or 2 at most.
Yeah, I don't know. I could see them being a little bit more aggressive because, let's face it, it is a division game. And I think when you have the secondary that we have, I don't think you have to worry about the pass as much as you have or as much as you used to.
Mhm.
So I think that with each game, they get a little bit more aggressive, seeing how everyone starts to get really dialed in on the defensive side of the ball.
Well, you got to know what you have. Let's see, plus minus 4.5 sacks.
Wow.
Is that his or is that what the betting
Is that
is?
like FanDuel
Is it like,
or
yeah, and I before we go, can you just is that your prediction? Or your plus minus, or is that an actual plus minus? Because I'm
right? If it's yours, why don't you just say 5 sacks?
yeah. I mean, that's my question. Like, if it's 4.5, I have to take the under on
if
that.
all right, if
If I see
this
four,
is your bet,
if
I'll
I
bet you
see
the
four
under.
sacks, dude, I'm gonna lose my gourd,
Yeah.
and I got to be the bus guy, so I got to be like kind of on my good side, Plus,
Yeah.
I got the old ball and chain with me too, so I gotta be good. She'll probably be wrecked. Who I kidding? She'll probably be she was feeling pretty good though at the Phillies game.
I was feeling good at Pearl Jam, and
Yeah,
Lex
yeah.
is like, This is my turn."
Oh yeah.
There, we'll see.
All right.
We'll see.
That's like drinking a bottle of wine
No,
at
she'll be
9
fine.
a.m.
She says it, but she never does it.
Yeah. I don't know, man. That's why I took off. I said I want to get hurt. I want to get bent out of shape. Maybe I'll do it. Oh, here we go. Got one back. Who is that? JT?
I didn't
Yeah,
see, yeah.
JT. Got it. Yeah, we should get rid of him. I wanted to get rid of him. God.
God damn anything. Damn
Yeah.
Lex. Ah,
All right, man. It could happen. All right,
Scarpa
guys. That
leave.
is it for tonight because we, in about an inning and a half, you will, or maybe just one inning, depending on how this works out.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll have one more chance at bat since we are the home team. So, in about a half hour, 45 minutes or so, you will have Matty B for your fighting spinal. Break down what we see here. Yes. Yes, that was his predictions. Ian saying that was his predictions for plus minus
He
four
goes
plus
into
five.
4.5,
I love
four
him.
and a half
I
on his
love
own
Ian.
prediction.
That's where I love Ian.
I'll,
Guys,
I'll bet you on the under then.
yeah,
Shoot me a message.
yeah, I'll take the honor. You taking? Don't forget this is brought to you by Dolan's Bar, the most Delco bar, 24 East Sellers Avenue. Check them out. Great food, great fun. Oh, Eagles games. If you're there, you're hanging out at Dolan's. He brought his freaking wings back, bro. They are so good. So check out Dolan's. You never know what's going to happen there. Philly Sports Trips. We'll be down. We'll be in that Washington game. 9:25 on the calendar. We're ready to go. Next week will be a home game, so you can join them at the tailgate at the gatehouse. You know what? Or you can come over to South House, 2535 South 13th Street, Philadelphia, PA, right in the shadow of the Lincoln Financial Field. Not too far from there, only about a 5-minute ride. Come on over for pre and post game live on location. It will be myself and a few other EOP members bringing it to you. Halftime will be brought to you by the Painted Lines. Great time. And always check out every Eagles game pre, post, and halftime live here with EOP and the Painted Lines. And guys, speaking of, here is the lineup. I don't even read it to you guys anymore. I don't. I don't even try. I don't even want to
I
try.
want it.
Nobody wants to hear me read it to you. This is what you have. Um, and it just keeps getting better and better and better and better every day. So, Joe, anything you want to add in?
Go Birds.
Go Birds, and we.
Oh, you know what? No, there's somebody that we no Vince asked us to share that they do still have tailgate tickets available. If you're going to be down there, with
wow.
yeah. If you're going to be
What,
down there with your buddies,
1,500?
I don't know what this dude's crazy, but I love
I
him.
love him.
So yeah, so if you're going down with your buddies and you need a place to, the spot up, you got the food, you got the booze, you got the entertainment.
Especially away, that's clutch.
Yeah.
Because you know what, dude, if you were going down there with just me, you, and a couple friends, whatever,
Yep.
you gotta go down, you gotta go get cases of beer, bring the grill, do all that stuff, or you shell out a couple shillings to phillysportstrips.com and you're covered. Good call, dude. Good call.
Man.
So yeah, you can still hang out with us. You just don't have to be on the bus.
Yeah.
If you already have your tickets, don't worry. Just come on down. It's not I think it's just tailgate.
Just tailgate.
It's not a ticket to the game.
Right.
It's not a ticket on the bus. It is just the tailgate. So if you're gonna be down there,
entertainment, food, beer.
save yourself money.
Eagles
You literally
fans.
will save money because of, like I said, if you brought all those coolers down, all the time you spend, all the packing up you have to do.
Right.
Just come down and drive down and enjoy the food and booze and have a good old time. Other than that, I'm Big Al.
And I'm Joey Sheeran.
And we out.